Hey people, there's one tip that's always being repeated when it comes to playing music, and that's you should always warm up. I mean, we all know this, but not all of us do this, and many people come with the excuse that this or that musician also doesn't warm up as well, but I think that's nonsense, because once you have experienced the benefits of a really good warm-up, you always want to do this because you can just reach a higher state of mind, a higher level of your mentality and of your physical playing. And maybe there are some blessed individuals out there who can just flick a switch and be in that state of mind, or who are just very fortunate to have bodies that can compensate the stress of immediately jumping into playing. I mean, I'm a drummer. My instrument is pretty stressful on the body. We know, I mean, it's logical that we should warm up. But as I said, many people don't do it because they don't know how to do this exactly. And in this video, I want to tell you what exactly happens in your body so you know why you should warm up. And then I will give you many practical tips on how to warm up. So this is not a tutorial. I won't give you any specific exercises you should do. I want to prepare you so that you can develop your own warm-up routine. But in the next video, I will show you my personal warm-up, which is highly specific but highly effective. But I recommend you first watch this video until the end so you are prepared. This video definitely applies to almost every instrument out there, but I'm a drummer, so most of my examples will be from the point of view of a drummer. So let's jump right in. At first I will tell you what actually happens in your body when you warm up. The first thing is, of course, that your muscles grow warmer, and the blood actually distributes this temperature, this heat, throughout the body, and thus your whole body gets warm. This is why you should start with the bigger muscle groups. They just generate more heat and you warm up more quickly. But as we know, blood does not only transport heat but also oxygen to our muscles, and the blood supply of our muscles actually increases when we warm up. And thus the velocity with which the muscle fibers can contract increases, and also your muscles don't acidify as fast. That's this burning sensation in your muscles that prevent you from playing any longer. So if you play fast and also need some endurance, it's especially important to warm up. Your joints are very important for movement, of course, and with a proper warm-up, you prepare them for movement as well. The tendons, ligaments, and cartilage don't recover as fast as the muscles do, so if you play regularly, maybe even daily, to prevent wear and tear, you should definitely warm up. Next benefit, the resistances in your muscles decrease, so your muscles just work more efficiently and don't fatigue as much, and you also prevent strains. There is a thing called proprioception, which also improves when you are warmer. That's the neurons, the sensors in your muscles, in your joints, and on your skin, they work better. So your touch and feel actually improves. And this is very important for your coordination and for your technique, and it improves motor learning. So warming up ensures that you gain more from your practice session. Of course, you can warm up passively, and this brings also some of the benefits I already told you about. You can just do a hot bath, have a massage maybe, and on a hot day most people wouldn't warm up anyway. But some of the benefits you don't have, like the preparation of the joints, and as I told you, that's very important. So even on a hot day, you should at least warm up a little bit just to prevent wear and tear in your body. And also warming up has many psychological benefits, and that's what I will tell you about now. As I said, the sensory perception improves, but not only that, also your attention. You are just much more alert. Also, just as you get your body ready for whatever you are playing on stage or in the studio, you get your mind ready as well. It's a mental preparation. Actually, the German phrase to get warm with something means to get a grip on something, to figure out how something works. So warming up is also a short practice session to get in the right headspace for playing. And warming up can also reduce stage fright because you feel much more prepared and in control. You see how many positive things happen when you warm up properly. Take the time, try it out, and watch for the benefits I told you about. And don't give me any excuses and say you can't because there's no space or no time. There's always a way. I made it a priority because I know how important it is, and this way I always found a way. I have warmed up outside, in showers, in toilets, in closets, anywhere. There's always a possibility. So try it out before your next rehearsal or your next recording or practice session or live gig. But first, let me give you some tips on how to warm up and what you should look out for. The first one is, of course, start slowly. That's the essence of warming up, but still many people forget it. They just jump right in and play what they will play on stage. That's not warming up, that's playing. You need to accelerate carefully so you prepare yourself for what you will be playing. I've seen that many times, that backstage drummers just play fast single strokes as fast as they can on their knee or on their practice pad. But that doesn't impress me. You can impress me by taking it seriously. If you start slowly, you show that you are very serious about it, that you are professional, and you should not impress other drummers. You should impress the audience by putting on a good show. And warming up properly ensures that you can put on a great show consistently. And that's also why your warm-up shouldn't look or sound great. Have you ever heard a singer warming up? They usually don't sound great while warming up, because the idea behind warming up that right now you are not in the state for performing, but the warm-up will bring you there. So you should actually focus on what still does not sound good. Go over those sounds, go over those movements, improve them until you are ready for the performance. If you focus on your weaknesses and try to improve them, you show dedication. Next tip, warm up the whole body, not just the fingers. By now you know that it's important to start with the bigger muscle groups to get your whole body warm. I have often seen drummers backstage just doing Jojo Mayer finger technique exercises as a warm-up, but this just warms up your fingers. And you usually don't just play with your fingers. You play with your arms, with your shoulders even, and also with your feet. Don't disregard them. So you should prepare your whole body for how you will move when you are performing. And that's why my next tip is, in your specific warm-up, you should play like you will play on stage later on. My warm-up exercises are actually always the same, but I can adjust them to the genres I will play. So whatever exercises you do, make sure that the way how you do them represents the way you will play when you are performing. I will talk more about this in the next video about my personal warm-up. The next question is, how long should the warm-up be? That actually ranges from 10 up to 45 minutes, depending on your age, the time of day, the temperature, and other factors. Here are some pointers. Of course, the colder it is, the colder you feel, the longer the warm-up should be. A good estimate is that your hands should feel as warm as your core. If you are not there yet, you can expand your general warm-up. Maybe even go for a short run or do some squats. Here also passive warm-up can help a lot if you have access to a shower, maybe take a hot shower, and hot drinks also help a lot in this case. If it is hot and damp, of course your warm-up should be a little bit shorter so you don't tire yourself out. The older you are, the more time you should take for warming up because the adjustments in your body happen a little bit slower. And if you are a beginner and not yet used to playing for longer stretches of time, you don't have the endurance yet, don't warm up too long because you can exhaust yourself even before you go on stage. Also, in the morning, getting warm and awake and attentive takes a little bit more time. So if it's early in the day, just plan in a little bit more time. And with all of this, it's very important to warm up right before performing. The interval between warm-up and playing should not be more than 5 to 10 minutes. Because 45 minutes after your warm-up, all the positive effects of the warm-up have already vanished. At least that's what my research said. But my personal experience is a little different. I don't know about you. Well, at least the vocal trainer Melissa Cross said that it does not matter when you warm up your voice. Important is that you don't take a nap between warming up and performing. In my experience, even that does not matter. Just recently I played a show where before we went to the venue, I put on a practice session in the morning. And on the way to the venue, I took a little nap. And when it was time for the show, I felt that I could just slip into this headspace. It was still there. But you should differentiate between preparation and warm-up. I still felt prepared. I was awake and attentive, but still I needed to warm up my body once again, of course. My next tip is be as relaxed as possible. Of course, you want to be excited for the show, but you don't want to be tense and stressed. So find out what helps you relax. Especially if you share the backline or do some adjustments on stage right before your performance. I once played a show where after our support band played, I pulled the carpet with my drum set on it out from behind and did not take any time to relax again. And just from gripping the carpet, I was so tense that on this night I broke 6 sticks, 1 pair even just by counting in. So this is how immediately you can see the results of too much tension and not enough relaxation. So always take just a few seconds to relax your body. Maybe just take a few deep breaths and do some soft stretching exercises like this in that case. But stretching does not necessarily have to be part of a warm-up because there is such a thing as too much relaxation. You don't want to relax your muscles entirely because you still want to move. Of course, if you feel tension in the muscles you need for playing, you can do some stretching exercises. But please don't jerk your muscles or do extreme things like this. If you're not used to that, you can actually damage your body and increase the tension. What I'm talking about when I'm talking about relaxation is the general feeling of relaxation. So what I would do is I stretch my shoulders, I stretch my neck, my back, my thighs, just to get a nice loose feeling in my whole body, while my arms, my hands, my wrist feel warm and fluid just by playing, by warming up, not by stretching. My next tip, have some exercises ready that you can do when you don't have much time. My warm-up exercises are scalable, so if I have more time, I dive in more deeply, but I can just do them in a few minutes. Try out many exercises. Believe me, I have tried out so many things, and by now I have found something that gets me into the right headspace and warms up my body in just a short amount of time if I want to. Whatever you do, don't try to do it as fast as possible, but always as accurately as possible. This way, it is a kind of calibration. You calibrate yourself and your body for precision. And very important, but by now it should be clear, don't just play. If you're on the instrument, don't just play what you have in your head, because that's already playing and not warming up. You need this process of calibration, of preparation, to be able to play on a higher level. Sometimes I see videos titled "My warm-up in the studio" or something like that. And there's somebody just shredding. That's not warming up. As I already said, a warm-up should not be presentable, and that's totally fine. So stick with the exercises that improve your performance later on, but might not sound great at the moment. And always keep in mind that you don't warm up your body, but you have to do exercises that make you focused and even inspire you. That's why you should not do the same exercise all the time, because then it becomes stale, it just becomes a routine, and then it loses its value. Do some difficult and challenging coordination exercises with which you also can be creative, and maybe even incorporate your fifth limb, your counting. This way you also prepare your timing and your inner pulse. And most importantly, take the warm-up just as seriously as the show. It is a part of the show. Jojo Mayer said, "The first note of my warm-up is also the first note of my gig." That's the spirit. And with this approach, you're actually, and unfortunately, doing more than many other musicians. And with this inner attitude, you are much quicker in the right headspace for performing. So always keep in mind that warming up your body is only half the battle. It's just like tuning only the top heads of your drums. Yes, they are in tune, but they will sound so much better if you also tune the bottom heads. And just like that, if you only warm up your body, there's so much more potential to be set free if you also warm up your mind and your spirit. So you have to regard the whole machinery, the whole system, which also includes your bandmates. You have to be a unit on stage. So maybe you even want to do a collective warm-up to strengthen the bonds between you within the band. But at least take some time, spend some quality time together before the show. Now go try it out. You have all the information and many practical tips. Develop your own warm-up routine. Please write your experiences in the comments below. It would be great to hear back from you what helped you and what didn't help you. That's also a valuable feedback for me. And as promised, I wanted to show you my specific warm-up exercises. But right before that, let me show you how my general warm-up sometimes looks. It looks like that. Why is juggling such a good general warm-up exercise? Well, you see, I'm moving mostly my arms, which are important for playing the drums. When I'm standing up, I also move around a lot, so I'm moving the whole body. But most of all, I don't want to bend down and pick up these balls. So juggling automatically makes me very focused and attentive. And also with 3 balls, you can already be creative. So this is a very good general warm-up I like. And as promised, in this video, I will show you how my specific very effective warm-up exercises look. And if you want to see more videos about music, learning, and of course about playing the drums, then please subscribe. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.